So it's kind of been a 1-2 punch for parts of the southeast, including western North Carolina, upstate South Carolina. Today's forecast shows a severe threat along the Gulf Coast into North Florida, and then also up the East Coast. So places like Savannah and Charleston, South Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, watching for the severe threat. There's that flash flood warning that I mentioned off towards the south and east of Charlotte. And we've got kind of storms peppered across parts of Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, North Florida, actually all the way down the Florida Peninsula and into parts of North and South Carolina as well. So truly scattered storms out there right now. We look at some severe storms right along the North Carolina-Virginia state line. These are north of 85 and also west of 95. There's Charlotte. There's that flash flood warning that includes the city of Monroe. Notice it's the outer part, southeast part of that perimeter around the city, that outer loop 485. So could be seeing some problems there. As we go through the remainder of the evening, notice the thunderstorms generally off towards the south and east. With that said, can't rule out an isolated shower or storm through the evening, but into the overnight and tomorrow morning, we dry out, we clear out. So a much better drive for you as you head to work early on Wednesday. There's some good news for you. All right, for Atlanta, we've got storms moving in from the north. Notice on 575, some thunderstorms working through that area. We've got some off towards the south and east of Athens as well. And as we look at Atlanta's forecast, notice the showers and storms will die down as we head to bed, move through the overnight. Not much of anything happening into tomorrow morning. So another dry day at the bus stops for those kiddos. There's some good news. Dave, we've got a new tornado warning. You're so right, Dr. Forbes. Let's talk about the setup for the northeast. You got that moist flow, that cold front moving east. This is the evening setup, so this is what's keeping storms in the cards for the northeast. Upper level jet stream adds to the lift, so some of these could be severe. As you mentioned, damaging winds. One of the threats, hail as well. So we're talking all the way from southern New Hampshire, really where Maine and New Hampshire meet up, all the way down into parts of Florida. So a lot of the big metro areas have been dealing with storms or will be dealing with storms. Philadelphia, you've seen them. They've moved into South Jersey and Central Jersey. We've got some storms over the Delmarva Peninsula, generally off towards the south of D.C. Now notice into western Massachusetts, we've got some storms, left a flash flood warning into parts of eastern New York. And New York City, you've seen some storms already, and you've got more storms off towards the north and east. Here's D.C., just a few showers off to the south, although those have really fizzled out. Now the Delmarva Peninsula is really where the action is. As we forecast things out into the evening, maybe a hit or miss shower or thunderstorm through the late evening hours, but into the overnight, generally things will die down, and by tomorrow morning we will be much quieter than we were for the 6 p.m. hour today. All right, let's look at Philadelphia. There's those storms that have been rolling off towards the east. We've now got a severe thunderstorm warning for the Jersey Shore, including the Toms River area. As we look at the forecast radar moving into the evening, still a few thunderstorms possible along the northeast extension over towards Trenton. This would be as we get into the late, really mid-evening, we'll say 8, 9 o'clock. Beyond that point, I expect things to dry out and clear out for Philly. Earlier today on Wake Up with Al Roker and Reynolds Wolf spoke with the Secretary of New Mexico's Environment Department about the spill and its impact.
Plus, you can't even hear yourself think with all that hail coming down.
Absolutely not. So you might wonder, well, that must have been a really rare situation. Cars don't just get picked up by water all the time. Not necessarily the case. We're going to show you how much water it takes to float a car.
That's right. You know, a lot of people die in flooding in this country, and nearly half of the flash flood fatalities are auto-related.
So people driving into those floodwaters or maybe trying to get out of it.
Right.
Water weighs 62.4 pounds per cubic foot, and it typically flows downstream at 6 to 12 miles per hour. Now, you get that rushing water on a higher incline, and it can be faster than that.
Now, when a vehicle stalls, the momentum of the water is transferred to the car.
Right.
So for every